Everybody. Welcome to the Frontline Level Up call every Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And today we have a special guest. It's my boy, Mac Aguebor, good friend of mine, Hall of Fame producer as well. I've helped over 400 plus families last year, growing a big agency, and somebody who gives proper detail and real information for the everyday person to get started from. I remember about a year and a half ago when I was doing my travel trips, he goes, "Hey man, what do you think about that?" I said, "You should be doing it too." He goes, "I got a wife and kids." I'm like, "Hey, out of that part's up to you. You got to figure that out on your own." Right? Remember that at the conference?
I do.
But nonetheless, he did it. And, he's a man of God, a man of success, and somebody who truly works hard. So without further ado, Mac, hello, my man. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, man. And appreciate everyone else getting on, because this is the small stuff that makes all the difference. I'm going to change my camera real quick, guys.
Yep.
1 second.
It really is. It really is.
All right. Yeah, anyway, so good job for those that are getting on, because this is the difference maker in all those small decisions. Success and failure are just separated by just a few degrees. That's what I discovered. And it always boggles me when people that are top producers stop learning because they're good. And that's the kiss of death when you say you're good. So again, I just give you this, if you're taking notes, is a nugget for me. Because for me, when you're getting to a certain level, when you're selling, it isn't about the how-tos. So just remember this as far as growth. There's an old saying that says the strategist will always defeat the tactician. Remember that. The tactician is just, hey, here's what I'm doing. The strategist is the process. It's the system, the method. So you need to transform when you're new and you're going through. And I know I'm just coming in hot, right?
Go ahead.
When you're new, first you need a cheerleader, right? So you're your own cheerleader or you got a cheerleader, right? Then as you grow in the business, then you need a coach. You need someone that knows how to kind of teach you, right? But when you start doing good enough, the truth is the elite players, I'm talking Jordan, LeBron, whoever is anybody in the world, everyone has a strategist. They hire a Tony Robbins. They hire someone who's in that level of strategically getting their mind working right, because LeBron, they know what to do. Who does LeBron call when he has a bad game, right? So just giving you an idea of the growth of the process. Sure. So again, kudos to you guys, wherever you are in this process of the business. This is how you get it, because you got people who are willing to kind of pour into you with I'm telling you, the people that are giving you knowledge, I'm talking the Joe Bassos, when you go to conference, the Rob Kakishes, man, there are people that would pay him thousands of dollars to be at an event for him to be the only speaker. And here we get this for free. So don't discount what you're getting just because of the dollar figure that you're not paying for it. So again, thank you, Rob, for that. Rob, you tell me.
Amazing,
there's a lot of different directions I can go. Anything specific you want me to roll with?
This is what I want you to roll with, bro. I just quick brief, because we don't want to take too long on this, man. I know you got a big day and the whole 9 ahead. We just need some people to wake up a little bit and get some tangible stuff. But first of all, thank you for that introduction, man. Amazing. And that's what I was talking about, the whole realness part. What did you do prior?
Okay.
And your beginning steps and failures and how you got to where you are. Just go at it. It's all you.
So when I first started, I was scared like nothing else. I had a wife and kids, 10 children at that. So I had very, very little room for error in order to try something. Some of us are in a position where we can, we got money in the bank, and I had very little room because I had a wife and kids depending on me. So I really couldn't fail. Well, I saw the opportunity. Prior, I was doing oil and gas. I was actually, doing 16-hour days, 17-hour days, even sometimes 20-hour days, manual labor, right? Out in North Dakota doing the, fracking, oil and gas, all that stuff. And so I knew what long hours were, and I was making good money. I mean, we were doing between 150 to 240 million a year. When it got low, we were just doing a lot of hours, and it was really just adult minimum wage, right? Because we got paid a lot on the overtime. And so I knew that I wasn't that good. I just worked a lot. Guys, I remember my first year there, I made 101,000 in about 6 months. And all I did was just you come back and I was just washing trucks, right? I get in the, so like people will pay you money, not only for your skill, but for your willingness to work. That's what I learned. When I came back, I started driving truck. I knew that that was not the career I wanted. And so when I came to FFL, I was a little bit scared, the leads, really had to bank on yourself. And here's the only thing I could bank on, that I could work. And that's where some of you, maybe, you can, maybe in America, here's the truth. We say we know how to work. Here's the challenge with that. For those who want to be real, your biggest pitfall is you were born in the greatest country in the world called USA. I was born in Africa, where for me, I had lived the reality. If you don't, or your mom and dad don't make enough, there's no CPS. You just go hungry, right? If you don't work that day, you just don't eat. There's no safety net. I lived that reality. I've gone hungry. So for me, it was dead real. Whereas, again, not saying that none of us are strong people. All I'm saying is we've been coddled, and you just don't know what you don't know. Because of that coddling, your mind is a little bit soft. So because I came into that, I said, okay, here's what other people are doing. I saw Rob, I saw these other people that were working hard and making money. And I said, I can bank on me working. So I just looked at the numbers. They asked what the numbers were. I said, okay, you got to do the dials. How many dials does it take an average person? They said, if you do 150 to 200 leads, you dial the numbers, you'll book 15, 20 appointments. If you do 30 appointments a week, you'll make X amount of dollars. I said, okay. And I literally banked on the fact that I sucked. I accepted that reality that I was not very good. And I literally just sucked faster. I said, what would it take if the average person would take them to do 100 leads? Maybe I'll buy 200 more. I bought 400 leads to compensate for my lack of ability. And then here's what I think, I don't know, Oppenheimer, I forget what he said. The fastest way to succeed is to double your rate of failure. So that was my mentality. I literally just try to suck faster to get through that process of sucking so I can get good. And next thing I know, of course, I was doing, helping 15, 20, 30 families. Guys, I didn't even know I was helping 40, 50 families a month until someone said, I saw this little recognition thing. I was like, oh, really? I was like, oh, okay. And it just became like clockwork. I was like,
just head down.
I'm just helping families. Like, that's what it is. So it just became normal, right? So that's the whole process, right? That's how it worked out.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. Like just to even, first of all, think to where you came from and the luxury that we have here. And you're so right about that. The sense of urgency for a lot of us, man, and sometimes even once in a while go through my head, isn't always there because, just like you said, the urgency is really not there. So thanks for sharing that, bro.
Yeah.
And as you were saying, you started to help 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 families. That started to increase. Why and how?
This is a numbers game. That's all it is.
Exactly.
You need to become your own crystal ball, your own psychic. The first thing that I had to do for myself is I had to identify my ratio. I literally had to find out, okay, what is my ratio? What did that mean? Well, in Jim Rohn said, if you do something long enough, a ratio will appear. So for me, hope is not a plan. Like I said it, the strategist will always defeat the tactician. How do you find your ratio? Well, you need to go do the work. How do you find out the ratio? Well, work faster. Well, how do you find your ratio? You need to compress time frames. So you do in 6 months what it would take you to do in a year. Do in 3 months what it would take you in 6 months, right? Do in a month what it would take you in 3 months. So you need to create momentum. That's how you find your ratio. So how did I do that? I literally, like I told you, I bought a bunch of leads and I ran them. And hey, I'm gonna be real with you, Rob. I had been through a lot of deals where I was promised a lot of things. One company, I remember they promised me I won this contest. It was recruiting. I was supposed to get paid 60 grand. I didn't get paid. And I was doing well in the company. And all these promises made, so my dream machine was broken. And so I had to honestly go believe again. So because of that baggage, I came here wanting to actually disprove FFL. The leads don't work. So I said, hey, I bought the leads. I started calling them. And I had a good attitude. And I called them, and who would have thought? People wanted me to come over to their house, help them with life insurance. So all I'm saying is I bought the leads, and I ran through the ratios. And I discovered, well, if I call X leads, again, I'm telling you this, I'm just being real with you.
Keep it
If
real.
you get 200 leads, you should be able to book. If you're going in home, I would say 150 leads. I would say 12 to 15 appointments.
Mm-hmm.
Of the 12 to 15, maybe a 20% no-show rate. So maybe you'll see 10. Meh. You'll sit with 5. You'll close 2. Worst case scenario. You'll close 2 to 5. And you do that over and over and over. So how did I scale it, Rob? Well, I found out what my ratio was. And I said, okay, you know what? It takes me 150 leads to book 12 appointments. Now, how do I get to more? Well, I can just scale it. And here's one number people don't count on: the fact that you get better. But I assume I was just the same rate. I kept buying 12. So my closure ratio in the beginning, that buying 200 leads to go book in home for my first couple of days, it was about 50%. I literally closed half of what I set on. But then as time went on, man, if I sat on you, man, it's about 80%.
It's almost a wrap.
It's like a wrap.
Yeah.
So I was dialing the same number of leads, but I got better at booking more appointments on the phone. So all I'm saying is figure out where you are. GPS for it to work. Anyone ever been in a situation where your cellular was off and you hit GPS, it couldn't find you?
Yeah.
You need to know, where are you? How good, how bad are you? How do you know that? Run through. Stop looking at the scoreboard of how many sales am I making. That doesn't matter right now. Only thing you need to look at is the process. Are you submitted to the process? Okay, I bought 100 leads and I sucked. I only booked 2 appointments. That's not the lead, that's you. But now you say, you know what? I'm gonna go again. Say, hey, so Rob, listen, I bought 100. Can you help me out with this? How do I get to maybe 4? Let's go over your script. Now you know what you need to fix. And that's what I did. I just saw what the ratio was, targeted what I wanted to focus on, which was the process. I didn't even look at the numbers, guys. I didn't even look at the number of families. It was simply, can I control my process of skill set? When you can control your skill, it's a wrap. It's game over. That's it.
Beautiful.
That's it.
Beautiful. And that hits home. That's literally the reality. You know, I know a lot of people want to hear this extra magic stuff, but that's the truth right there. You know, is continuing to sharpen your skills and bet on yourself. Were you using a dialer or were you calling? Or a little bit of both? Or at the beginning calling?
Yeah, we're spoiled now. When I was new, dude, all we had were these, bro. That's all we had.
Same.
I was, and I started trying to figure out, micro methods to increase the rate. I would like maybe while I was dialing, have the other number on going, and then I said, you know what? I'm gonna pull up Paul McLean. Hey, success leaves clues. I just don't make up new ideas. I just follow what he did. Paul McLean said, you know what? He had 2 phones. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get 2 phones. So while one's dialing, I'm down another. What I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So we did it the old way. Then about a year ago-ish, phone burner came around, and I was like, okay, we jumped on phone burner. It just made us more effective.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're brand new, you don't have phone burner, you should. Don't let yourself be uniquely defective. Oh, because I can't. Man, we did it the old way, right? Yeah. Come on.
I was literally there too on that cell phone, that iPhone 10, just going at it. So it's funny you mentioned that, bro. So amazing stuff you're pouring in. I really appreciate it, bro. For a lot of, the new guys that are on here, because there is, when you buy your leads, because really we buy leads, we dial them, we visit the families, right?
Yeah.
When you're calling these clients, I know the script is pretty much almost the same for everybody, but we got to ask.
Sure.
When you're calling these clients, how are you booking these appointments? And when are you calling them during the day? What times a day are you calling?
So I found that the early bird gets the worm. There are people that are going to work early that you would never get if you start dialing at 8:30. Mm-hmm. 7:30, literally, you should be dialing at 7:30:01, right? So I found that between 7:30 to about 11, maybe 10, that's like gold time. That's gold. You'll book more in that time than a lot of other time. I'm just being real with you. If you come in later, I'm telling you, you will be missing the game, missing the ball. That's when I book a lot of them. So 7:30 to about 11, you'll get the folks going to work. 12 to 3, I consider dead time-ish, because you got now, obviously you can choose the demographics of your leads. So you'll probably get maybe some retirees, but it's more dead time. Mm-hmm. So what I used that time for was maybe doing some recruiting, social media, blah, blah. But man, from maybe 4, if you need to start that early, more so 5 to 9, man, that is the second goal time.
Yes.
You better be on that phone, right? And so that was the times that I used to do it. As far as the script, I'm sure you would have asked that. What did it sound like? Again, strategist, tactician. I'm gonna tell you what it sounds like, but it's not the script. It's your tonality. So when I heard the script, there is communication. Communication is, it's not only what you think you're saying, but it's what you're saying. So when I heard it, I heard a Paul McLean say it. I heard Andrew Taylor. I heard all these people. I literally recorded what they said on the script, and I wanted to replicate how they said it. If their tonality went up in a question, guess what? Who did that? I went up too. And I sucked at first. So I literally mimicked what they said. Some of us, I've had agents saying, hey, Mac, what's the script? They say it, but they don't say it the way I say it. So you need to make sure when you say a script, you say it the exact same way if you want the exact same results. So, and another thing for a strategist is, here's the deal. It doesn't matter what the script is if you do the dials. You make up in dial what you lack in tonality or skill set. I knew going into this game, a third will say no, no matter what. A third will say yes, no matter what. A third will say yes or no, depending on your skill set. I was just looking for that third that would say yes, no matter what. And how did I know that? I would say, initially, I'm gonna tell you what I did in the past and what I do now.
No, gotcha.
Initially, it was straight. I did the benefit center. I didn't do all that. I mean, I did that at first, then I just dropped it. I'm more of a straight to the point. You either want it or you don't. So I went, I said, hey, Rob, go and role play with me for a second. Hey, Rob.
Yes.
Hey, Rob, this is Mac. I'm giving you a call from X County. One of the underwriters getting back to you about the life insurance request you sent in. And I had no pause. Looks like you put your date of birth was 1/1/64. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. I got a delivery address of 12345 Success Lane. Is that correct as well?
Yeah, that is correct.
Perfect, Rob. So these are, if you remember, these are the non-medical programs, no blood work, physical. I just need to verify you're living, breathing, not strapped to a hospital bed and 1,000 pounds.
No,
as far as time, you're good. Awesome. Hey, listen, Rob, as far as timing for you, are you working full time, retired, or disabled?
I'm retired right now. And is this going to take long or what?
No, I'm glad you said. I actually need to leave the office myself, Rob. I'm just the underwriter assigned to get this out to you. Now, as far as timing, these take about 10, 15 minutes. Just do a quick eligibility check, show you your options. Are you single, widowed, married, or divorced?
I'm married. My wife's here.
Married? Perfect. Is your wife is retired with you, or is she still working?
My wife's retired too. Yeah.
Perfect. So as far as timing, Rob, looks like I have some time for you guys. I'm dispatched the next couple of days. Do you have any doctor's appointments next couple of days?
No,
they say no
doctor appointments.
I paint them into a corner and I tell them my availability, which time, this time, right? I did that and it worked. If they let me go through the script, it was beautiful. You're only going to hear 3 objections. It's, I didn't fill it out. I'm busy, or there's an objection, or I don't remember. Well, those are the only 3 objections, right? So if they let me go through the script, it's over. But hey, I didn't fill it out. Perfect, Rob. No worries. I don't remember everything I do either. Most people do it for this reason. One is, they don't want to leave a burden on their family if they were not to wake up tomorrow, or they're looking to leave some extra money for someone special. If you remembered, Rob, which would have been your reason? And guess what they say? Oh, baby, yeah, I don't want to leave a burden. Yeah, Rob. So yeah, like I was saying, I'm the one assigned to it. It's more of a hypothetical. You're not going to tell me that you didn't fill it out, right? So just remember, I love what Teresa Kitchen says. If you entertain clowns, you'll become part of the circus. Mm-hmm. Don't entertain clowns. Entertain clowns is what? Well, going into I didn't fill it out, arguing with them. We don't do that.
Yeah,
you filled it out. We're going to skip past that. Yeah, we're going to skip past that. Don't worry, Rob. I don't remember. That's why we just skim over it. If it's a big deal for you, it's a big deal for them, right? We're not going to identify that. Yeah, Rob. No worries if you did fill it out. I don't remember everything I do either, and we go over that. I'm not interested. No worries. I'm not interested either. And then you go on that script as well. Now, I'm going to transition for a second, Rob, and tell you this. What I begin doing now to try to see if I can engage more people of the third that may or may not be interested is, here's how it is. So I said, ring, ring. It says, hello. Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob. This is Mac. I'm one of the underwriters for Maricopa County. Getting back to you about that form you filled out online. I'm assuming you were just trying to see if you qualified, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. I just wanted some information. Just me and my wife was asking me. I'm not too sure right now, though.
Got it. Perfect. No, that's why I'm calling, Rob. Let me just confirm. Looks like your date of birth is boom, boom, boom. And this is the delivery address. Is that right?
Yeah, that is the address. But once again, I'm not too sure. I'm with my wife and we're just going back and forth about it.
Yeah, so you're not sure about not leaving a burden for her, or you're not sure about
I don't
leaving
know
extra money?
if we need it, if we want it. I'm not too sure.
Got it. So it sounds like, so you already have something in place. You're looking at maybe adding more. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, actually, we don't have anything in place. No, we don't. We don't have anything in place. Everybody keeps calling.
Rob, got it. Well, Rob, know how annoying those things are. My job is just to get your file closed. Whatever you do with the information, that's your business. My job is just to get you the information so you can make it a good decision. Does that make sense? Takes about 15 minutes. These are non-medical, no blood work, physical. I'll simply just do an eligibility check, see what you qualify for, and then you can decide what's best for you guys. Does this sound fair?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fine.
Perfect. We booked the appointment, right? But what I'm doing is the people who are on the iffy side, who initially, when you call in, hey, Rob, this is a Mac. I'm getting back to you about the life insurance. Click. What I'm trying to do is identify those folks. I say a question where they have to break their preoccupation and answer me. Rob, I'm getting back to you about that form you filled out online. Here's what they say. They either say, that form you filled out online, I'm assuming you were just seeing if you qualified, right? They either say, yeah, and it's a wrap. Or they either say, what form? I say, well, let me just verify, Rob. Looks like you put boom, boom, boom as your date of birth. Is that right? Perfect. Yeah, my notes are telling me you were looking at the life insurance programs. Were you just seeing for yourself or for a spouse as well? Now I get to the meat of it. I'm already, oh, dude, it's beautiful. They're like, yeah, I was looking at those, but man, it's just engaging that third that would just click more than it would have otherwise.
Correct.
That has been working very, very well. So all you're doing, just keeping it kind of general, I'm assuming you were just trying to see if you qualified, right? And that opens the door and they have to focus on you. Yeah. I don't care whether they say yes or no, but now they're giving me an actual answer because they're thinking versus just a knee-jerk reaction that they're going to hang up. Feel me? But that's what I've been doing as far as a script. But
I love it. And then because of that, and because of you practice that skill set, you can, even if they're not interested or they were over it, they can start to get into that momentum. You know what? We did inquire about it. He's communicating properly. You know what? Maybe we will.
Yep.
From going from uncertain to a certainty mentally for them. I love it. And then you're assuming. And I used to tell everybody this too. Boom, 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 boom. Is that fair? How awkward would it be on the phone if they said, no, that's not fair? No, it's not fair. You know, they're going to sound like children. So when you hear Mac on the phone, boom, 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 is that fair? Yeah, that's fair. Boom, go for the close.
I love your word tracks. And this is one thing it blows me away, guys. When you have someone successful, why would you reinvent the wheel? Like, I'll be honest with you, Rob. I looked at your word tracks like, is that fair? I got that from Rob Kakish. Like, why would you do it any different? It works. I'm like, that sounds good. I'm gonna do what he says. So no, just follow the word tracks. Follow the word tracks.
That's it. It's that we don't have to revisit everything. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I've tried to do some different stuff sometimes, especially when I was starting off, and it was just you just fall flat on your face sometimes. You know, the blueprint is
schizophrenia.
Yes.
That's why I tell folks, listen, don't get FFL schizophrenia where you're YouTube binging. You're like, that's good. And you're like that kid in Halloween, eats all the candy and that you're bloated and you want to throw up. Here's what I mean by that. Choose one person. It doesn't have to be Rob. Yeah, he's your leader, but it doesn't have to be. Great leaders are here. Choose one person you identify with, memorize, master, literally replicate their exact method. Once you've gotten that down, now you can add. But going 3 different folks and, oh, yeah, I like what he said. That's the worst way to do it. Yeah. Just choose one.
Yeah. And who was yours when you started? I'm assuming a lot of Paul McLean, right?
Yeah, it was Paul McLean. And actually, I'll be honest with you, no, it was initially. I was sucking bad. I remember, I'll be real again with you guys. So I was doing about 20, 25 families a month and I was stuck. I was busting it. I mean, I was doing all the things that people told me to do. I couldn't break past all the stories I heard of the 30, 40, 50 grand. I'm like, what do you got to do? And I not only wanted to, I needed to, because in FFL, if you're running an agency, and you're only doing 20, you're broke.
Yeah.
Just being real. You're broke. You need to be doing 30, 40. If you're running an agency now, if you're just single by yourself, you got no responsibility, yeah, you're good. But I needed to go further, and I love scaling. And so here's what happened. I'll be honest, guys. If I cannot figure out a way, I'm wondering a couple of things. I was thinking I was doing everything I could. I wanted to do all the trainings. I was this close to saying I'm done. I'm going somewhere else. And where else will I go, right? But we all it all
nonetheless, yeah.
I went to this conference and I heard these two guys. And this is the power of going to events. It was Julius Geiger and Clay Sweet. They broke down their in-home. And mind you, I had been studying, but maybe the person I was looking for, I hadn't yet ID'd with. And I recorded it, I then scripted it, and I practiced it. It was in February. It was like February 8th. I literally replicated what they said word for word. That was my first month. I did 42 grand that month. And then the next month I did 58 grand. And the next month I did 68. I mean, it was just, as far as who was it? It was those two guys. I'm sure everyone else was saying it, but it hadn't yet clicked. It was like the angels were talking to me, right?
Nice. Guys, are you listening to the numbers that he's saying? This gentleman right here, Mr. Mac A, is a 1% earner on planet Earth because of what is going on right now. Like, this is not, and he hasn't been doing this in FFL for 4, 5, 6 years.
No.
Right? How long you been here, Mac?
October is my year.
Years, something?
Yeah, year and a few months, yeah.
Yeah, you're the same with me. Same here. You know, it's unbelievable how when you plug in how fast things can change, man. I have my a few good friends that are joining as well. One of my best friends, actually, he just joined as well. And he's been running a few appointments and he sold a couple, but then he's just weird situations are occurring for him. And I told him, I said, man, every time you call me, it's a dread. You're dreading driving 20 minutes. You're dreading driving 30 minutes. It's always a negative every time you're calling me and going to see a client. I said, dude, you're not in alignment. So all the magic that was happening for me, for Mac, all this stuff, dude, you're resisting it. Yeah. Right? How, well, for you, because obviously you've been in the field hardcore like me, how do you think you can fall in love with the field without being it such a burden?
It's a good question.
If that makes sense.
I'm gonna pull a Sean Mike. You're gonna have to be an adult and grow up a little bit. Here's all I mean by that. I mean, no offense, but
love
you
it.
have to.
Keep it G. Go ahead.
Listen, when you were children, we were so committed to something called mastery that we were just born with it. You couldn't walk, so you tried, you failed. Guess what you did? You didn't go. Walking is so hard. No, you just saw the people walking, so you wanted to walk. You got up and up. Same thing with talking. Blah, blah, blah. You just did it. Mastery was what you do as children. But then you become an adult, you forgot, oh, that's what it, we literally got off the bandwagon of what it takes to be a master. We've literally forgotten, and now we are so prideful, we expect it to happen in this time. And if it doesn't happen this time, I don't like it. That's being a child. A master will embrace the process. I'm an athlete. Played semi-pro soccer. Listen, when I got hurt, I had to go put my foot in ice. The first 2 minutes suck because your feet, it has to be like under 30, your feet are freezing. You're like, and we had this polar pool where, yeah, you know you're hurt in other places, but if you can just freeze your whole body and it'll feel better tomorrow. So the polar pool was this big pool. You got your whole body submerged. Can you imagine? Like, it's like temporary. It was like 19 degrees, I don't know, something crazy.
Freezing. And
you would like, be struggling with yourself. Should I go in? Should I not go in? But listen, the guy that just accepted the fact that it sucked, after you accept that life is hard, it stops being so hard. It's just the way it is. Once you embrace it, it's over. So all I'm saying is, how do you love the process? Or you need to accept the fact that it takes what it takes to get good. And you're just a baby right now. It's not going to be like this forever. You just are not good right now. And instead of, oh, I don't want to jump in the pool, and no, you got to go in the pool. And then the thing, the scoreboard is what you should be focusing on, the scoreboard of your process. Here's another thing that makes people not to dread the field. They're looking at the wrong scores. I started looking at, okay, again, my confidence was damaged. I went through depression prior to coming to FFL. we ran a business. We were doing great, oil and gas. We lost everything. I had this medical scare tumor. I had to go through radiation. I literally had out of debt, the whole deal. I lost everything. And all my wife and kids, my wife, 6 months pregnant, I think at the time. Well, she was 7 months pregnant. Had to go work 12 hours a day because the father didn't take care of business. So I had no confidence. So when I went in this game, I had to embrace the process of it's going to be difficult. And I started looking at the scores. The score that I could make sure that I didn't damage my confidence on was what? I looked at the number of dollars I was making. I didn't look at how many sales, how many appointments. Forget that, because that was too much for me. I had no confidence. I had to look at, I was counting the no's. Hey, get 200 no's today, because that would be a win for me. And when I was looking at the dows I was making, that's how I began to embrace Dow Day. Whereas instead of anxiety, it was, okay, here's what I'm doing, and here's what it takes to be able to get there. But I had wins along the way. When you have too few wins, you would get discouraged. Make the negatives the wins, and things will start changing. And of course, grow up. You got to be a master. It takes time. And that's what, again, going back to the beginning, you need to suck faster. How many appointments are you running a week? If you run 5 a week, 10 a week, run 30. And then it won't suck anymore. That's it. That's it. Just embrace it. That's all.
That is some heat right there, guys. And you know what? This is why I brought him on, just because I knew I was going to hear the real. You know, the complaints that we have sometimes, especially if you're not in the position you want to be in life, at the end of the day, you really just got to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Right. What is your activity? What are you doing throughout the day? Right. And especially what we have here, we have a vehicle, because me and him and everybody else who's successful, we all had a leveled playing field. We all came in at the same bar, which was at 0, right? But it's the schedule, it's the commitment. What are you doing every day?
Can I add one?
Right, and this, you have the ability to change your life.
Can I add one more?
Go ahead.
As far as
preach,
if I could be real, the leads are the same, the work is the same. We start on the same finish line, but the truth is, we don't actually start exactly equal. Because we all come with different baggage. That's being real. So Rob, yeah, it looks like Rob and I are in the same finish line, but we're not because of Rob, but because of me. Correct. Because of my limiting beliefs. Here, I'm just being real. No one cares. Work harder. I'm just being real. Your baggage is yours. You got to compensate for that. There are people who have one leg. Guess what they do? They go to work and they compensate for one leg. They're not looking for a handout. So take responsibility for you, that the reason you're not succeeding is because of you. But you got to identify, why is that? Everything else is equal. And here's what I'm going to suggest as your medicine. This was for me a key. I know it sounds small, but it will be the elixir for any deal. 10 pages of a good book every day, in addition, outside of the Bible, and 15 minutes of a good audio. I'm talking personal development. It's that medicine, I'm telling you. It will, give it 6 months, give it 3 months. You will be the same, you'll be doing the same thing, but you'll have different results, meaning your mind would have transformed. So what I'm telling you is, what is keeping this opportunity unequal for you, where you're not getting the same results as Rob, is you, and you will be able to make that equal by changing this. And that's it. You don't have to all of a sudden go to some seminar. If you want to just keep it home, keep it real, man, there's so many books on YouTube. 10 minutes of a good audio on YouTube, a good book, Think and Grow Rich, all these good books. He has some suggestions, and then 10 minutes of a good audio, listening ever well. Those tapes, changing that programming. I'm telling you, all of a sudden you were here, FFL was here, you're not getting the same results. You're like, why do I keep losing? Why do I keep losing? All of a sudden, boom, you land, and you're like, wow. Just being real, guys.
It's so funny you said that, because the people who are on here know exactly what you're talking about, because we talk about that all the time. And even till today, that is still what I'm doing. So I love how you're reaffirming that, man. And that's the difference, man. Sometimes we're doubting so much in our head sometimes before that circumstance even happened. Yeah. Prisoner of your own mind type of thing, right? Yeah. Limited beliefs, all the things that you're talking about. And how do you start to fix that? You start your medicine, the food has to be different, right? And it's not just literally the food. It's who are you around? What are you taking in? What are you going to sleep every night with, right? All these little adjustments after 30, 60, 90 days create a different result. Why? Because momentum is hard to break, right? So you stay consistent, you'll get that small breakthrough. When you stay consistent after that, the breakthrough gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you can start to have an impact around you, right? Mac lives this right now. That's why he can pour in with true effort, and it's coming from the heart because he lives it.
It's not about money, guys. You got to find something bigger. And here's another reason, being real with you. After a while, you'll get bored. I know it sounds crazy, bored of doing 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month. It will get boring. You will need something bigger than you. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you will lose motivation.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember there was a time when I got into business, I knew I could just call a few leads because I got good. I can run 3 days a week and do 15 grand.
Yeah.
I just shake the street a little bit. I was like, But when it starts becoming about maybe others winning, find something to stay sharp, and for you to keep that level of work ethic, you got to find something bigger. It has to be bigger. But for now, it's just you getting there, so be it. But if you can get that why now, man, it'll push you to push past all the challenges it takes for you to go from here to here.
100%. Somebody new coming in, they got $500 to spend. You know, from your experience, what would you tell them? Dabble a little bit of some age leads, quality. What would you say?
I mean, if I'm new, I'm going to educate you so you can educate your expectations. Go 3-month age leads. You're going to basically sharpen your skill set on the cheap stuff. You need to get wins, but the wins is the process. I've called 3-month age leads and they're just as good. So here's the deal. I'm telling straight up, you get 3-month leads. Let's say it's 100. Out of 100 leads, I've done it enough where it's about, whether it's 100, 200, any internet leads I've discovered, it's about a 20 to 30% answer rate. So just for easy math, you get 200 leads, that's 50 people will answer the phone, right? Of the 50, half will say, go pound sand, F off, something crazy. It just is what it is. So just expect that. Like the video game that you play as a kid, you knew that the guy was coming on the left, so you were ready for him, right?
Yeah.
Up front. 25 is the pool that you're fishing from, really, right? You're only going to hear 3 things from these 25. I'm busy, I already got it, or yes, they're interesting, right? Those are the 3, right? You already got through the other portion of, the whatever else. That 3 from the 25, you should be able to book. If you're doing in-home, again, I would say if you're doing telesales, you should be able to sell, I don't know, 2 to 5.
Yeah.
If you're doing in-home, you should be able to, I would say 12 appointments, 15. That's what I would tell you. And you're just going through the numbers. That's it. $500 is sufficient to be able to at least get the ball rolling. The difference is you need to knock out that 500 in a compressed time. You need a compressed time. Don't take a week to do it. Come on now. Like, really? Knock it out in a day, 2 days.
That should be max.
I mean, come on. Are we? This is what upsets me sometimes. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because I've been for the other side of the tracks. This is not a game. Like, there is no second chance. This is real life, right? When we're acting like you were born a Ferrari and we're treating it like it's just some kind of, come on, guys. This is legit, the real deal. Act like it. Why aren't we? And if you're not acting like it and pushing it, if you knew it's a limiting belief, if you knew you can accomplish X the next time, why wouldn't you do it now? Why not? And so you got to basically look yourself in the mirror and saying, am I taking this seriously? And am I giving it what it really deserves? And if not, then of course, be adult enough to say, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to increase the effort or lower the goal or do what Sean Mike says? If you're not going to do it, just quit because you're making all of us look bad. People are thinking NFL doesn't work. It works just fine. The Ferrari works. You just got to drive it. Yep. Sorry, I get passionate about this stuff.
No,
bro.
It's good.
This is just,
that's why I brought you on. That's why I'm picky with who I bring on, baby. Perfect.
This is where you just got to do it. That's all.
You really got to, because me, are we that special? No. But we did what needed to be done. I have my things that I have to take care of. You have all your children, your family, and everything else to be taken care of. And I love what you said. This is real.
That's what makes me mad sometimes. People say things like, oh, Mac, you're just naturally good. Man, you don't know how bad I sucked. How I went into a home, my first appointment, I hadn't even gone through the Americo app. All I did was book the appointment, do what my leader said. I'm just going through it. I called them. I said, hey, what should I do? And we got these folks that they want to know it all. I mean, I felt uncomfortable. I get it. You know, I felt all that stuff. I went into a place. I asked the questions. I didn't know what annuity was. I've done all that stuff. I just did it regardless. And so don't tell me, oh, because it's uncomfortable. Well,
yeah, life is uncomfortable.
Come on. What's the alternative? What's the alternative?
Like I tell my people, what's the alternative? What really is the alternative?
So yeah, just go do it. But again, I say track your numbers. If I had to tell someone right now, whether you were new or listen, it's all about the numbers. Track your numbers religiously. How many dials are you making? How many people said not interested? How many people said I already got it? So we need to identify exactly where you're weak on, and now Rob can help you. Someone else can help you. But if you come to me and you say, hey, I'm struggling, I'll say, hey, show me your numbers. I don't know. Well, I can't help you. Like,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Where are you? I don't know. I don't know either.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Because what are we going off, right?
Nothing.
Keep it. I love it. I love it. Mac, if you can go back, bro, to where when you started, which was not 5 years ago, just 20 months ago, you know, to get the ball rolling that much more. I know we talked about a lot, you know, but if you can put it in a few sentences for somebody just to hold on to, if they had to reflect again and they're getting started, what would you say? What would you say to the old Mac?
I would have started building an agency immediately. That's the only difference. I was too prideful on the deals I'd done before, where you needed friends and family and all that. And I literally didn't want to talk to anyone. I literally felt so self-confident that I could do 40, 50 a month on myself. I didn't need you. Yeah. It was almost my greatest strength was my greatest weakness.
At the same time,
I would have just simply said, you know what? I need to help people. And I mean, I had situations not only on the building side, but on the policy side. I had a good buddy of mine. I didn't need it. I had leads. He was successful. I didn't even approach him. Hey, tell me what you got about life insurance. Good buddy of mine. He had businesses, and I approached him about the business. Didn't think about his life insurance. The guy gets cancer, didn't have the right life insurance, lost it all. He was young as I was, could have got him something with living benefits. And so again, get off your high horse. This works. Build immediately. If you don't have a story, point to the story of other people, because it does work. And also, I know we got leads, but don't forget the folks that you do know, because you will feel like a piece of crap when they get a situation like that, and you could have been their solution to make sure that their wife is not having to do a GoFundMe, which is what he had to do. It hit me. That's what I would tell old Mac. That's
strong, bro. That's strong. Where can people follow you on, Mac? What's the best spot where they can follow you at?
I'm trying to get better on social media, but I am magnificent on my Instagram, and just of course Facebook, Mac Aguebor.
Mac Aguebor. He's active on Facebook for sure. Mac Aguebor, guys, if you want to follow him on Facebook, which I highly recommend, man. He's got some good content. You get down on Facebook. You got a little something on Facebook.
I go up and down.
Yeah. Depends what I eat for breakfast. Right. Mac, bro, honestly, bro, thank you so much, man. God bless you and the family. And I was there through, and I seen, the stuff that you overcame, bro. And it's just glad to have you back. I know it's been a while, but bro, you're a good soul, man. Thank you so much for coming on, bro. Anything I need, you already know, for you guys in the Whole of Haven agency, more anytime you give me a call, I'm there, bro. And the same with the whole frontline organization, whatever you need, bro.
Hey, good to have same for you guys. Let me know if I can help, guys. Reach me out. We're all one family. So anyone know, you got everything you need here. But if you need a second ear, definitely just shoot me a text or send me a message.
Appreciate you. Mac, God bless, bro. Have a good week, man. We'll see you soon, brother. Guys, there you guys have it.